How's it going, guys? So we're here to do my review of the Warlock. And you hear a car go by, so I do apologize. Of course, you'll hear my voice, and this will be have dubbed in music and stuff like that too. So with the Warlock, I am level 90 right now, and I can tell you right now, the Warlock is one of the most busted ass characters that Diablo 2 Resurrected has ever made. Even OG Diablo, Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, no character has been this busted since, God, I want to say what, either the Hammerden or the Lightning Sorceress. If you have Infinity and get that stuff up to like 50k with an Annulus, a bunch of charms, and a torch and just maxed out gear. I mean, at the time, that was definitely one of the most, overpowered characters. You just go into places and just take them all out. Now we have the Warlock. So, like most people, I pretty much did the whole thing with, I went through the Chaos place. I have not done the Fire one. Probably won't do that for quite a while. I did start off with the Miasma stuff, Miasma Bolt, Miasma Chain, and then Abyss. I pretty much used Abyss all the way up to Hell difficulty to actually help me beat the game, and then I started seeing everyone talking about, the new Eldritch, build for the Warlock. It's broken, they need to nerf it, or hope it doesn't get nerfed, it's just so overpowered, and I'm thinking, and at the time, I'm like, this, stuff didn't really look that interesting to me. It looked more like physical than really magic, than anything like that, so I didn't really bother with it too much. I pretty much stuck with the Chaos and the Demon build, maxed out my Goatmen at the time were like level 29, got their mastery maxed out. Didn't really bother with Tainted, tried the Defiler one time, just did not like it, and then the rest of these ones I didn't bother with, and Consume I didn't bother with, and Bind Demon I had no idea how the hell that shit even worked. But I started watching like Sweet Phil, and shout out to him, and he was talking about how broken the Eldritch thing is, and pretty much, watched this video, did what he said to do, was basically just max out these ones, these four right here, and then, come down here to Bind Demons. So what Bind Demon actually does, it only works for demons. I've tried to do it on non-demon ones and undead, and it does not work. Basically, you get a certain percentage chance over here to actually take a demon for yourself as your own minion. I first thought it worked like Revive for like the Necromancer, but completely wrong. So we actually have Hephaestus over here, or Hephaestus over here, and we have him binded. He is enchanted, so he's got fire enchantment, but he's also got amplify, and he has sparks. People always been recommended getting him because of his different auras and stuff like that, and a lot of people pretty much said, if you want a good, Bind Demon, a good minion, get him. He's the best one because he usually has multiple enchantments and stuff like that. And so far, I've been rocking with him and been kicking ass between like level players 3 to like players 8. There hasn't really been too much that the Eldritch Warlock has not been able to take down, and you're using what are we using here? We're using Echoing Strike. As you can see, I'm only doing 18k. You can do a lot more damage than that. I pretty much been going back and forth between mercenaries and stuff like that. I pretty much stuck with, I did have a Holy Freeze Merc, but he kept dying multiple times, so I'm pretty much been running the pits for stuff like that. So I pretty much switched over his gear onto Act 1 Merc, so I pretty much gave her his Treachery. I got Endural's Visage in the pits. Usually you want to get one that's ethereal, but I was happy enough to get this, and I pretty much made Harmony for her to get that extra speed boost, because you do have a form of teleport, which is Blade Warp. I haven't really bothered using it, so I just prefer to run. Right now we just have our Magic Flying gear on, so just, this is, I think, one of the newest rings. I haven't seen another ring like this ever since, but yeah, so just pretty much for rocking, Magic Flying gear. But the thing I was watching multiple people saying that Echoing Strike is based off faster cast rate. So the faster cast rate you have, the more you can actually dish out more damage. Using Insight, use the beginning one, got Griswold, stick those 3 things in there. Got our first Shaco, which I was really happy about. Got that one from Mephisto, so I was getting teased by the game for like 15 different Shacos, from like normal superiors to magic ones, and then bam, he dropped me a Shaco. I'm like, about damn time. Got my amulets, got multiple spirits. Took a recommendation from Sweet Phil too, using staffs that have teleport charges in order to actually teleport around like Chaos Sanctuary and stuff like that. So yeah, where that's before I was going back between energy and health and strength, doesn't really any points into dexterity, and then eventually after resetting multiple times, now we're from just vitality and strength. So 1500 health. Let me see, what else did I want to show you guys? Oh yeah, charms, most of these health ones, but I got Demon 1, Eldridge. So we got like 3 demon charms, mostly just all magic fine, some little lifers in here and stuff like that too. Let's skip all the junk in here. Don't mind the mess of the junk. So materials, I never knew what the hell these things were because I only started the Warlock maybe like 4 or 5 days ago. So apparently these are statues or something like that. Apparently you can get from Indarial. I have no idea what the hell that's all about. Wasn't sure what all this was all about, so I started watching videos between Llama and Sweet Phil. They were talking about these shards allow you to terrorize a entire act. So instead of just focusing on like 2 or 3 places that are terrorized zones, you can terrorize an entire act, which is actually pretty cool if you're trying to go for those Thunder Charms, which I've yet to find, but I've come across 2 of those bosses that spawn in terror zones like that. I don't remember what the hell they're called. And I just recently got an Ohm Ruin too, not too long ago too, with that in the LK, which is pretty awesome. And then of course I got our Vex. So we almost have almost all the runes. We heard another car go by, so I do apologize. Still trying to get that pole rune so that I can make a Hodo, which I thought I had a 4-socketed Hodo or a 4-socketed flail, but I think that was my pluggy version. And yeah, so this is just with magifying gear. So what we'll do is we'll come over here to the pits. We'll do a quick little test so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So I usually was going with the one of Sweet Phil was going with Purge, which is really nice because it causes those explosions and stuff like that. And then Psychic Ward, which is really nice because it protects you through a certain amount of damage. But basically they just mirror a bunch of weapons and stuff like that. And because I have Hephaestus over here who has enchantments, Amplify on here, I mean, it just wrecks bosses with snipers. That's nice. Oh, and we are 248. Try not to sacrifice too much FCR, but I can get up to like 350 if I really need to. But what I found doing this is on players 3 of the pits, which is tend to be the best. I found pretty much almost all my good gear on players 3. I found some decent runes, like mid-tier runes on there and stuff like that. Anything beyond, I say, players 3, I just don't see any really benefits from it. Oh, a swirling crystal and a Shaco. I've been getting teased a lot with the swirling crystals and those mesh belts and stuff like that too. So I'm really hoping to get some Tal Rushas and stuff like that. The Horizon's gear, I pretty much have almost the entire set, except for whatever the hell the secrets is. So I'm assuming it's either a belt, or it's a rank, or an amulet, because it consists of body armor, a helmet, gloves, and boots. So I'm not sure what the last piece is, and I really don't want to spoil myself by looking it up. So, yeah, there's that. But usually on players 3, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's immune here, like fire and lightning and cold and stuff like that. But because the Warlock is a pure magic user, from what I've seen, there's not a lot of enemies that are actually immune to magic unless you go to the Lost City, where you take on plague barriers. Whoa. All of Act 3 just got terrorized. Holy shit. What you just seen in here, folks. The ancient guys from the Throne of Destruction, they are immune to magic. And I fully tested that too, but if Hephaestus over here hits them with that Amplify, I mean, it pretty much just knocks out that resistance to being resistant to magic, which is really nice. But yeah, I wasn't sure. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm like sticking with the Abyss. I mean, it's been helping me out a lot. Had a lot of crowd control, you know, and I already have a really good Dirt of Hatred level 3 map, where it's only like 2 grids away. So it's like an easy run over there and then just teleport through all that BS. So I didn't really want to give that up, because getting a good Dirt of Hatred map, it's kind of a pain in the ass, because then you have to constantly just teleport around, and if you don't have teleportation like Enigma or teleport charges, which do get expensive over time, you know, it's just not worth running Mephisto. I've run multiple Chaos runs, I've run multiple Diablo runs and Dario runs. Bale, I just don't even bother with. He's such a cheap ass. He's just not worth it. At level 96, I think Bale is. He has so much goddamn health, and he's, even with Amplify and Lethargy over here, which I forgot to mention, which is one of the spells you really want, great against bosses. He is still rather tanky as hell, and the problem with the running, throwing instructions, stuff like that. Ooh, that's a Hydra bow. Hold up. It's 3 Sakasu, is having to deal with souls, because I've died a handful of times on this character, and to be truthfully honest, the only way that they've actually ever managed to kill me is through goddamn poison. And I have not died any other way. I've not died to bosses, you know, maybe a couple of super uniques, but if they're doing like straight poison damage, that's really the only thing I've ever seen actually ever kill my Warlock, is just getting constantly pummeled by goddamn poison. And it's like you're, you know, using super potion after super potion and rejuvenation potion and trying to counteract it, and it just keeps dwindling your thing, and the next thing you know, you have a random, you know, unique or super unique monster popping out in the middle of nowhere that hits you and you're dead. So yeah, that's like really damn annoying. But yeah, so between those, Mephisto giving me my Shaco, LK giving me a couple of high runes, I've also got the Vex from LK. Oh, you have fanaticism. Archers are still another thing you really have to worry about, even with your Psychic Ward, that I've noticed. So just be aware of that. There's that goddamn Death Mask that keeps teasing me with Tal Rusher gear, and I have yet to get anything. So the Warlock, as good as he is not invincible. He can still die. Belts, that's Harris's, stuff like that. So just be aware of that. But because you have Bind Demon, you know, it kind of gives you like, you know, I'm unstoppable. You know, don't fall for that. Because you're not. I know that's because, like, just running with straight magifying gear and stuff like that, and it's like having no resistances and stuff. But yeah, I could easily solo player 7 on Chaos with my actual full gear and literally have like no problem with it whatsoever. It's one of the main reasons why I do not switch back to things. I don't want to have to. I mean, this is, from here to here is probably the best you're actually going to get for endurance level 3. If it was like literally right there, that's literally like 1 out of a million shot you're going to get. So yeah, we're going to switch to our teleports. Go through here. Merc's a little slow even with vigor, which is really annoying. Hit him with that. Go in here and then just players 3 Mephisto dead. I can get pretty much quickly as that too. He dropped me another Shaco! The game was teasing me for another Shaco, and you guys just seen it. Players 3 Mephisto with 248 Magic Find. We just got ourselves another Shaco, and it's not ethereal too, which is even more awesome. I believe 140 is the best you can actually get. So yeah. You know, you're kind of struggling to get a Shaco or some form of magifying, something like that. There you go, Players 3 Mephisto. Yeah, but that's really my game review with it. Like with most of the people who are saying the same thing, either the Warlock either has to be nerfed, or they are going to have to rework it. And Sweetfield and Llama were talking about that, about They'll probably keep the Warlock this season the way he is, but probably by next season he's going to probably get nerfed extremely hard. And if that's the case, I highly recommend anyone who's playing the Warlock to pretty much grind with this character as much as possible. Get any high runes, any gear you want before this character gets nerfed into the ground, because I believe it was Sir Fox Gaming, shout out to him, another good Diablo 2 streamer, or Sweet Phil's one of the two, were talking about the Mosaic Assassin was pretty much the newest busted character that they came out with. They pretty much nerfed that into the ground, where that character's assassin's pretty much goddamn useless now. So yeah, just pretty much just watch out for any magic immunes. Like I said, Ancient Tunnels, Lost City is going to be your most heavily magic immune area there. Throwing destruction on the ancient guys. There are some like wailing beasts in the Kyros Bazaar, I think it is, or High Kyros Bazaar, one of the two. It's pretty much the red Yeti Gargantuan guys. They're immune to magic. So there are some enemies that are immune to magic, but not as many as you think. And the only things that I can really say that I really hope that they actually kind of do rework or make something new is this. I just don't find this to be helpful whatsoever. Improves your mastery over the entropic forces of shadow magic. Basically just extends the width of that, and may extend the length or the durations of some of these. I just don't find that to be really helpful. Sacrifice or Consume Demon was really nice, because basically you can I can consume him and take his abilities, but it's only for a certain period of time. It's not permanent. So I really don't find that to be too helpful. Blood Boil, I never really bought. I used it one time, did not care for it. Engorge is still nice too, because it does actually heal your own demon. Deathmark I don't find really helpful either, because it says forces your demon to teleport and attack an enemy. That's fine if you are planning to use a bind demon, but if you're using something like a Tainted or a Goatman or a Defiler, just respawning them would make it more easier instead of actually hotkeying that thing. That's probably the reason why they have it, is just strictly for bind demon. I don't know, never really used it. That's just my personal opinion. But either way, like I said, if you haven't tried out the Warlock, highly recommend it. I went through all the characters. I didn't see any special dialogues unless they have that version of the actual Warlock meets the expansion version, which is like $40. But that just includes a bunch of World of Warcraft and stuff like that, which I have no interest in. So that he may get special dialogue for certain characters. Like I said, I know the Druid has one for the Caltech guy, or whatever the hell his name is, Caltech, whatever the hell the general barbarian guys in there. He's got special dialogue with him, and the Assassin's got special dialogue for Neotech. So I'm hoping they put some form of special dialogue for the Warlock for some of the characters. Because one of them is the Natasha chick down here that I don't think has any special dialogue for anyone, except the fact that she's hunting Ormus or rogue mages, which is weird because she's such a unique character in the game, and you get her set, but once you pretty much beat Act 3, she's gone. She's not a permanent character anymore, which is kind of really weird. So there's certain characters in the game that are kind of like that. But either way, stay safe, healthy, and sanitized. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave comments below. Check out the rest of my videos, and you guys should hopefully see this video sometime this week too. So, and I'll see you guys then.